Hi guys, welcome back to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, Krazy Kajeevie with no fears, limits or substitutes. I'm the bad boy of James Bond and I've got a big video for you. Welcome back guys. This is probably the first one for a while where I've done an official video. I will apologise for that, but I will let you all know I did cop a 2-week ban from the lovely kind people at YouTube because I revealed things that apparently you're not allowed to reveal. Anyway, I do have an announcement. I will no longer be posting non-James Bond related videos on this channel. The channel is going to be entirely dedicated just to James Bond from now on. That's my word. So everything coming up will be mainly about No Time to Die. I do plan, because in Australia we're not going to get No Time to Die, hopefully. They're saying now November the 11th, because as you probably all know out there, it's the premiere release tonight, or the premiere I should say, premiere of No Time to Die in London tonight at the Albert Hall, so the 28th of September. On the 30th it gets released in the UK and I believe Europe. On the 8th of October gets released in the United States. Now it was planned for it to release here in Australia on September 30, but we're now not getting it because of the current world situation. I'm going to be very diplomatic. We're not getting the film here until November the 11th. If anyone out there, if you're not aware what's happening in Australia, which you should be if you want to know when we're going to actually get the film, is Victoria and New South Wales are the worst affected with cases out of the country. Other than that, the country's very clear. So I'm hopeful, I'm really hopeful we'll get it on November the 11th. Basically, us Aussies have had the film overall, you know, along with the rest of the world, but with a bit extra now. We've had the film pretty much pushed back 6 times when you look at all the delays, etc. I am not confident that No Time to Die will come out on November the 11th. For details I don't really want to go into, if you want to ask me about that in the comment section, then I'll leave comments below. So guys, just ask me in the comment section, but I won't go into too much details here. Other than to say that they've got the nutcase that runs Victoria has a very slow get out of jail plan. And we're still in lockdown. Now, Victoria has been in lockdown longer than any place in the world, all up, with days considered, all up. And we've probably got the lowest case numbers in the world. In fact, we do. And we're the most locked up place. So that gives you an indication, and I know you all would have heard all around the world and seen the footage of the brutality and everything that's going on here. So it's a shocking place to live at the moment and exist in. So myself, I've kept myself busy with a lot of gardening and stuff like that, and also just getting back into my Bond rooms and catching up on James Bond. Now, I'm very excited to bring this video. So what is this video about? I was kind of in two mind, guys, of what this video should be. Should I just do small videos? Now, I may go back and do smaller videos on pieces mainly around Spectre that I feel we need to have answered in No Time to Die, what I'd like to see answered in this new film. Before I get into that, I want to say to all those that are attending the premiere tonight, I'm actually really excited for you all. For all those that are going to get to see No Time to Die in just 2 days' time, my good friend Matthew Muckle, my co-admin at James Bond Fans Would Love on Facebook, he gets to see the film. He's seeing it on Thursday morning, and I'm so excited for you all. Guys, I do have a favour to ask though. Please, anyone, don't go and leave spoilers in the comments. Now, some of you and some of my detractors out there might be going, that's rich coming from Krazy Kajeevie talking about spoilers. Spoilers I've put out there over the last 1.5 to 2 years have been guesses, have been looking at the film, looking at plot things, etc., and mainly kind of guesses, and most of the time come with spoiler warnings as well. But I ask that American people, British people, they respect the other James Bond fans in the comment section and don't leave spoilers. Is it going to be very tough for me to go without hearing all the spoilers? I can't even imagine it. It's going to be crazy. Now, I don't mind spoilers in the term of guesses. Like, say if I have a friend and, oh, I reckon this is going to happen, I reckon this is going to happen, I think this... That's fine. That's guesses, that's putting things together. It's part of the fun of working out. But someone actually seeing the film and then going to another Bond fan and going, that happens, and just ruining it where you've got no opportunity not to hear it, I think that's just a bastard act. And that is something that I've never done and that I never would do to anyone. So I ask that other people out there don't do that as well. And I think the Bond community and people that have other channels are also... I may not even see eye to eye with some of those people, but I have seen some of their recent videos and I know that they've actually got a great level of respect to other James Bond fans, and they've asked their, fandom of their channels not to discuss those sorts of spoilers and that. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, so this video is going to be a bit of a ramble, but it's going to be awesome. I've got so much planned right now. I've got so much for you. So it's going to be a bit of a ramble, but what I mean by a ramble is I'm going to go through... I watched Spectre last night gearing up for this video. So I've got a whole lot of questions about Spectre, so I'm going to start with those. Now, I will also say that this video is potentially going to have spoilers as well. Now, they're not... Really, I will always announce, I will give you a chance and I'll say, guys, block your ears for like 5 seconds or 10 seconds when I get to a potential spoiler. But they're mainly going to be my ideas. So this really is a predictions video and a once video. So what I want from No Time to Die, what I want you guys to get from No Time to Die, and what I think we're going to get from No Time to Die. So I will start off with, this is the first key point that I hope No Time to Die answers. Now, going back over Spectre last night, and I'm going to make a video on this another time, I think Spectre is a horribly, horribly underrated film. I actually think there is so much good in Spectre. So one of my wants is... I hope that No Time to Die, in retrospect, almost in a retcon fashion, makes Spectre a better film. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that I really hope that people see how good Spectre is, that there's so much good in that film, especially the money, the cash is up on the screen. So I hope people, after especially they go and see No Time to Die at the cinema, I hope they go back and go... I think they're going to be forced to or want to watch Spectre to see, oh, this is what they did in No Time to Die. I'm going to go back and watch Spectre and see how they did this and how this correlates to this. And I think people will get more appreciation for Spectre as a film. But here is the number one thing we need answered. Now, before I tell you what that is, I actually, sadly, don't think they're going to answer this in No Time to Die. And it was never, ever answered in Spectre. Now, as much as I like Spectre and I think it's underrated, there's one key thing about Spectre. There's no story to it. There's actually, and you're thinking, well, how can you think it's underrated and it's a good film if there's no story to it? There's lots of little things that connect and, but I can see it almost like the third act of the Daniel Craig film, and I say that because I don't really think Skyfall's going to have much of a continuation, how they've tried to join them all together. I don't think they're going to really be able to do that with Skyfall, but I think they can do that with Casino Royale, Quantum, Spectre, and obviously No Time to Die. But the key point that got us going in Spectre, the key point, we don't know why Bond's in Mexico, right? We get the credits. After the credits, we've got Bond in M's office. Bond won't tell M why he's in Mexico. Then Moneypenny visits Bond, and we get this key scene. And the key scene is Bond puts on like an MP3 player up on the screen, and he shows a video of M, Judi Dench's M. So it's a belated video that she sent to Bond if anything was going to happen to her. And it goes along the lines of this. Bond, if anything happens to me, go to Mexico, you'll find a man named Marco Sciarra. Kill him. Don't miss the funeral. That's the message. What did we never ever get an answer to? That. We never ever got an answer. Inspector YM wanted Bond to go after Marco Sciarra. We never found out how she knew who Sciarra was. Did she know he was part of Spectre? Did M know about Spectre? We never got this answered. So I am really hoping that they haven't forgotten in No Time to Die to actually answer that question. Why was M telling Bond to go after Marco Sciarra, specifically Marco Sciarra? Why? And it's so frustrating. And I'm like, have I missed little things? Have I missed little things in Spectre? Is the answer really there why M sent him? You know, surely it's not, because M knew that Sciarra was going to do some bombing type thing. Also, what I got out of my review last night, or watching going over Spectre, was that Spectre really is, in a weird way, it really is actually a sequel to Skyfall. It's a sequel without being a sequel. And, I mean, it's like a pseudo-sequel. It's a sequel in the fact that literally it happens, and I found mistakes in Spectre because of this, but Spectre happens literally, you would assume, within a week of the end of Skyfall. Now, to prove that, they're still getting bits and pieces from Skyfall that's owed, like, for example, the stuff that Moneypenny brings over. So surely that would happen within a week or two of, Skyfall blowing up, etc., and M's funeral. Now, would M have had that package release, that she's told someone send this to James Bond? And why did she send it to James Bond about Marco Sciarra and not any other agent? Or not Mallory, not M? Why would she not tell the British Secret Service? Why would they not know about Marco Sciarra? Why just James Bond? So I'm hoping No Time to Die answers that. Okay? Next piece I want to talk about, relating from Spectre and into No Time to Die. Look, the big thing here, the biggest thing that I guess we all want to find out is, what is the secret? And the secret is about Madeline Swan, her secret. Now, in the trailers, and I've gone back and watched all of the trailers tonight, is that Blofeld says when her secret makes its way out, it will be the death of you. So apparently he's saying to Bond, it will be the death of you. So what is that secret? Now, I have to commend all the people involved in the film. They have kept this thing under wraps for like 2 years. Kudos to them, because all the fans out there, we still really don't have a huge clue of what the film's about, of what this secret is. We don't know. Now, it obviously involves Madeline, and I'm chomping at the bit to know. I really am. And even though friends are going to see this film earlier, I still don't want to find out until I go and see for myself. But what is this big secret? Now, I think in a way, there have been reports, and again, I'm going into just potential spoilers, guys, but this is more ideas now, so I'm not about to give you any boom, this happens at all. This is just ideas that people have had. Some people believe that Madeline is actually the daughter of Blofeld and not Mr. White. Now, because there's a line that's come out that Madeline is, they say, the daughter of Spectre. I believe it's in one of the new trailers, but I've got to admit, going through the trailer tonight, I don't remember hearing that, but apparently she's the daughter of Spectre. So that is really interesting. So that's got me thinking, what does that mean? Is that literal? Is it figuratively? Is it hyperbole? What does that mean, the daughter of Spectre? Going through Spectre last night, when you go into the film, you got to remember there's two things that Madeline spoke about. So really, really listen here, guys. Listen to this. So Madeline actually talks about 2 visits to her home by 2 people. Well, she talks about one, but there's another person that talks about another visit So, we know in No Time to Die that Safin, we believe that Safin goes to her house when she's a child. Now, that has been confirmed. He does go to her house. He is in the snow jacket, wearing the mask and shooting, and I'm going to get into more on that in a minute. Now, when Madeline is on the train, Inspector, and she's speaking to Bond, she says this man once came to our home and she tried to kill my father. So we know this man that visited tried to kill her father. And she had a gun that was strapped under, I think, under a kitchen sink with bleach and whatever. She gets the gun and she shoots him. We know in the trailers if this is him because we do know it's her past. It's definitely in the past now. Slight spoiler here, guys, of the timing of that. If you don't want to hear it, block your ears now. When I put my thumbs up, you can unblock your ears. So block your ears now. When I put my thumbs up, you can unblock your ears. So we know that that is actually the pre-title sequence. It's going to be the longest pre-title sequence ever. So the pre-title sequence, I believe it will start in Norway, and then it will go to Materia, and we'll see Bond and that in love. But the Madeline stuff will definitely, I believe, be this. It's going to be in the PTS. We know that, but I believe it will be the very start of the PTS, and then we'll go to Materia. So, guys, you can unblock your ears if you want to. So, we see in the trailers the scene where Safin, we assume it's Safin, don't we? We're assuming it's Safin, you know. Could there be a couple of Safins there? Could there be clones? Who knows? But he puts his head up like this, and we see this woman sleeping in the bed. Now, it's kind of slightly blurred out of frame where we've got Safin in frame and it's slightly blurry on the woman in bed. Now, I don't think at all, I just don't, you know what, it could be the mother. It could be, as in Madeline's mum, it could be Mr. White's wife, because the wife left him. Here's the thing. We never hear Inspector that Madeline's mother is dead. We never hear that. We don't know what happened to her. So that could be the mother there. What we do hear later on is that the mother has left him. He says, she left me. Now, some people, when they lose their wife, they say, yep, she left me 30 years ago. You know, left as he went to heaven, went to wherever. But I don't get the feeling Mr. White is talking like that. I believe it's more of a physical separation that she's left. So we don't really know who the mum is. And that's kind of interesting. Especially if Madeline is potentially a clone baby or something. Now, one point I want to get to is when Safin is shooting. Now, I've gone back and I've looked at behind the scenes footage. I've gone through so much footage in the preparation of making this video. So, when he's shooting in the ice, a lot of people, fans, have assumed he's trying to kill her. But when I've gone back and the footage I've found behind the scenes, he's on his knees. So this isn't in the trailer. He's on the knees and he's actually smashing, he's hitting the ice. So what I believe he's doing is he's shooting the ice to break it. That's why he's going boom, 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 boom. He's not just going in one area concentrated. I believe he's trying to break the ice. And then I believe he smashes into the ice. He leans down, because the footage I've seen, he leans down and he's putting his hand in the ice. So I believe he's trying to grab her. If he's trying to kill her, he's not leaning into the ice, you know, into that hole that he's just shot up. So I believe he saves her. Now, there is a bullet hole there. He's been shot. Now, we're assuming if his heart's there, unless his heart's on the other side, right? And then he does this weird breathing thing. So that would be just prior to, I'd say, the ice stuff. She shot him, and then he still chases her. But you can see when he's chasing her, he's injured. He's, you know, he's like this, and he's kind of badly injured. So that still injured him, but it hasn't, oddly, it hasn't killed him. So maybe his heart's on the other side. Now, I want to speak about Safin a little bit here. Now, yes, guys, I'm about to do something I probably thought I'd never do. But I'm going to explain myself on this. Now, pretty much for the last 2 years, I've been saying, and I will always apologise if I've got something wrong, but bear with me here. Wait till you hear where I'm going with this. I've been saying that, with no doubt, I believe that Rami Malek will be playing Dr. No. Okay. Right now, I don't think he's Dr. No. But I'm going to justify this, and I'm not looking for an excuse. We know there were multiple endings filmed. Leaks from the set told us there were multiple endings filmed. Now, when they do that so you don't know endings, you don't know who's who, or you don't know who's died, or who lives, etc., etc. It happens on, it happens probably more than people think. So, I believe... It's not 100% that I believe it, but I believe it's a possibility that Safin was Dr. No. Now, Rami Malek said in an interview that his favourite villain was Dr. No, and he was talking about why he was so excited about doing this and doing the part. And even he kind of led us to believe that he was playing Dr. No. He's on an island. The film takes place in Jamaica as well. Not that the island's based in Jamaica. We know the exterior of the island was shot in New Zealand. I think it was White Island. All right. So that doesn't mean anything, but you look at the very reminiscent, Mark Tildesley has done very reminiscent Dr. No type settings. You look at the clothes he's wearing, okay, very Dr. No-ish. So what I overall believe has happened, I think it's a possibility they could have said, okay, you know what, we're not going to make him Dr. No, and they've changed it. But what I think more than likely they've done is I think they've basically amalgamated Blofeld from the You Only Live Twice novel and Dr. No, of both the novel and the film, and that's the character of Safin. Now, whether they've been empty of ideas and originality, I don't know. Whether they really wanted to draw on Fleming, they've clearly done that. Now, what do I mean by they've gone and taken Blofeld from You Only Live Twice to make up the character or part of the character of Safin? Okay, now here is a potential spoiler coming up, but I'm not going to blurb it out yet. I'll let you know when I'm about to say it. But I have listened to the entire album. The album was actually leaked, so the soundtrack was leaked. Okay, so if you want to block your ears, I'm going to talk about the title of one of the tracks. So I'm going to talk about that now, which could be a potential spoiler. So again, if you want to not hear the spoiler, block your ears. When I put my thumb up, you can unblock your ears. Okay, so block your ears now if you don't want to hear any potential spoiler. Okay, so one of the tracks, I believe it was track 16 or 17, or maybe early, maybe 15. The track was, from memory, it was Garden of Death. Now, we all know, we can see that he's got a very interesting style garden there in the trailers. So I believe that when Bond and Nomi arrive there, that Bond will end up in this Garden of Death and have to fight through it. And I'm actually really excited about that. So that is definitely from the novel You Only Live Twice. And who had the Garden of Death? Well, Shatterhand, aka Blofeld. So that's a big part of that character. Okay, thumbs up, guys. You can unblock your ears now. Now, the other part of why I believe he's Dr. No is because of the obvious, like I already stated. He looks like Dr. No. He's the clothes and everything else. So, will he be Dr. No? No, it doesn't look like he's going to be Dr. No. Now, Kerry Fukunaga has also come out and said, no, he's not going to be Dr. No. Now, what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm just going to go through one by one characters, what I think is going to happen to them, and all of these. It's not so much that these are going to be potential spoilers. When I get to what I think are absolute spoilers, again, I'll let you know, but these are more my ideas. Okay, so I'm going to start with the smaller characters, and then we'll build up to the big characters where the potential spoilers will be. Felix Leiter. Let's talk about Felix Leiter, guys, played by Jeffrey Wright. Okay, this is just my prediction, so I don't have absolutely nothing here in concrete. So this isn't a spoiler, this is just my prediction. I believe that the stakes... I don't believe the women really are going to get killed off, in a way, but I'll get to a bit more of that later. So I believe someone has to die, even to beef up the stakes and make sure for Bond to take Felix up on his offer and go to Cuba and meet with Paloma in Santiago. I believe that Felix is going to die. I still do. I think they're going to kill him off. especially if they're wrapping it all up. Do they really need to keep him alive? Of course, as a big Bond fan, I don't want to see Felix die, but maybe that beefs things up. So that's just my thing. I think they are going to kill him. Let's see what happens with that. And the way I think he's going to die, I have a feeling that the big trawler, the boat, I believe that is off Jamaica. Now, I actually know that the boat's off Jamaica because I've seen the boat off Jamaica in behind-the-scenes clips and things like that. The boat is the real-life boat in real life. The big boat they used is based in Jamaica. So who's in Jamaica? We know Felix is. In the trailer, have we actually seen him in Cuba? There's footage of him, and it looks like the character played by Billy Magnuson, which we know very little about, and I'll get to him in a moment. And that's in Jamaica as well. So, yeah, I believe Felix is going to die in Jamaica. With Billy Magnuson's character, we know nothing about him. I think he's the potential rat, maybe double-crosses Felix, maybe sells out and let people know that are after Felix or don't want Bond to go on this mission. And maybe... And I don't know if that's going to be Primo. I don't know if Primo potentially dies in Matera. I'm hoping he survives. I think he does survive. I'm hoping he survives because I think he's going to be a really cool character. Now, I just want to get back to Matera for a second because I want to talk about this scene. This is a want. And what I think is going to be the best scene. What I think is going to be the best scene in the entire film, and the scene that I'm really, really looking forward to more than anything, involves this big baby right here. Yep, guys, this is the 1/8 scale DB5. So I believe the Aston Martin car chase, I think it's going to be incredible. It looks stunning, and I'm so excited, and I think you guys are going to love the cinematography by Linus Sundgren. Wow, the colours and everything, it looks so good. And it's such a pity in Spectre when they spent millions of dollars on these stunning costumes, the wardrobe, the production design, and all the little pieces from the skulls, all the little prop pieces, and they had such rich, beautiful colour in them, and you see these colours in the behind the scenes, which I watched all the behind the scenes last night as well, and then they're all gone. The colours are gone because they basically shat on it, pissed on it in post-production by putting that yellow filter through it, and they ruined all that beautiful colour, and they just didn't need to do it. When you look at one good thing about Skyfall, yeah, there's blues and stuff like that, but it also does have nice colours when it needs to, especially when Bond's in China. So the great thing about No Time to Die, we can see there's no horrible desaturation. It looks like a beautiful, colourful film. And I think on a visual level, a sound effects level, I think probably for humour as well, even though it seems very tense what's going on in Matera, I think there's going to be some great humour there. And I think the Aston Martin scene is going to be amazing. I think you guys are going to love that scene. So that's the scene I'm looking forward to the most. The other scene I'm looking forward to the most is the Switchblade, which I've nicknamed, James Bond show here nicknamed it the Switchblade, the plane that turns into the submarine. I'm just, wow. To me, that's like Spy Who Loved Me, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, You Only Live Twice kind of stuff. Like, that's what we want. And I think director Kerry Fukunaga has brought the A game as far as, we're still remembering for all the potential what crap in this film that this is a James Bond film, and we're going to give you big sets, big, awesome gadgets, great production design, etc. Now, speaking of production design, I'm going to give a prediction. I believe that No Time to Die will be nominated for an Academy Award for Mark Tilsley for production design. The production design on this film looks absolutely freaking awesome. It looks stunning. And the Bond films have never won an Oscar for production design. So I really hope this time, I hope they do. I hope the Academy and the members of the Academy acknowledge the great production design, not only past in this series, but look at the production design of this Bond film and judge it fairly. I also, even though I'm not a fan of the Billie Eilish song, and I don't want to... Look, I'm not a fan of her. Everyone, all the subs here, everyone knows me at the James Bond show here knows that I'm not a fan of her personally. I don't like her and what she stands for in her private life. That's a separate issue. But the song, it's hard to fully judge the song until I've seen it with the film, which is a fair enough thing to say. But I do believe it will suit the song, especially what happens at the end of the PTS. And again, this isn't really a spoiler. I think most people have worked this out and know that at the end of the PTS, Bond will drop her off. Now, when Bond is saying to her, we've all got our secrets, and he thinks that Madeline has betrayed him, when he drops her off at the station, he obviously believes her. He obviously has got to the point where he understands she hasn't fully betrayed him. Now, the reason I think that Bond thinks that she betrayed him is, I think she's given him permission because she's now his wife and basically said it's okay, go and visit Vesper's grave. Because I believe that's Vesper's grave Bond is visiting. Then he opens up a note, and in the note it says, forgive me. So then we see Bond chasing a little boy on the bridge. And the reason Bond doesn't hear the car coming up behind him and the gunshots is because of the explosion that was at the cemetery. So Bond's lost part of his hearing. That's why he doesn't hear the car coming and the pew, 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 and then we see a bullet like rip, just, zing past or rip through his jacket. He doesn't realise he's been shot, he's lost his hearing. I believe he thinks that that little boy, maybe that boy set him up or delivered that note there or been part of that explosion. And that's why when he comes to, he's chasing that boy. Now, maybe Spectre or the goons have used that boy, and I believe that they've set Madeline up. I think Madeline is set up there as though she's allowed Bond to go there, to kill him. Now, when he's in the doorway, after the explosion, and he's in the doorway and he sees Madeline and he says, the past isn't dead, maybe prior to that, this is just, guesswork, maybe prior to that, Madeline has said, well, look, that's your past and she's dead now. So, no, I don't mind if you go and visit her grave. And maybe that's why she's okay with him. And then he's assumed, especially from that note, forgive me, that, he's done a Vesper to him and kind of set him up and betrayed him. Because Bond lives with that betrayal still, that, he still felt betrayed by Vesper from Casino Royale. So that's a little prediction there. With Paloma, my prediction with Paloma is I think she's going to be fun. She looks great, action-packed. Now, she's at one... So the ball that they go to is actually a Spectre party. So that's all Spectre. And you can see in the trailers, you see like the floor moving away and you see this gas coming out and you see Spectre operatives dropping away. I believe that will be an attack by Safin on Spectre people. So obviously Safin's got a real, bee in his ass over Blofeld. He really isn't good buddies with Blofeld. He's trying to attack and take out Spectre for some reason. And that is going to be really interesting. What is the connection? What is the connection between Safin and Blofeld? Could he possibly be, and this is just a guess, could Safin be... And this isn't really a guess. When I was watching Spectre last night... Okay, guys, wait to hear this, okay? This is why I think people are really going to realise how good Spectre is. When No Time to Die comes out, they're going to go back and they're going to find little nuggets of gold in Spectre. Remember when Bond is standing over Mr. White just prior to when Mr. White kills himself in Spectre. And Bond says, you're protecting someone, your wife. And Mr. White says... gone long ago. But did you notice what comes next? Go back and look at Spectre. Bond says, your son. There's blank. Mr. White goes blank. He doesn't say, I never had a son. He just goes and looks at Bond. He says nothing. And then he says, your daughter. And then we go into, yes, there's a daughter. But he never denies having a son. So my guess is that Safin is Mr. White's son. That's my guess. Not Blofeld's son, but he's Mr. White's son. And maybe he goes, you're thinking, well, Krazy, why would he go and try and kill Mr. White, if that's his dad? Well, who knows? Maybe he was trying to take over his father's business. Maybe for some reason Blofeld, I don't know, it wouldn't make sense back then for Blofeld to try and kill Mr. White. So maybe Blofeld's got nothing to do with it. But Safin on his own goes rogue, goes away from Spectre and whatnot and what his dad's doing and tries to kill his father. And maybe he saves the little girl. He saves Madeline because Madeline is his sister. Is that a possibility? So, again, it's all guesswork, and kudos to the Bond people for just keeping us guessing and keeping all these secrets out there. Back to Paloma, my guess is she's going to die. I know in this woke age they're not going to want to kill strong, tough female women, but my guess is that she's probably going to die because why else don't we see her for the rest of the film? My prediction with Nomi, played by Larry Lunchbox Lynch. My predictions there are she's going to be cocky. She's going to come over to the side of Bond by the end because you see them joking and laughing and actually being supportive of each other in the new trailer. So I think by the end of the film, she's going to be fine with Bond and, all that. But yeah, she will be cocky. Am I interested in seeing her character? No. I have absolutely no interest in her character. Is that to say that her character is not going to serve any purpose in the plot? No, it's not. Most likely she will serve a great deal in the plot because she goes to Jamaica. Clearly, I would say, why would M be sending her, to get Bond back? And that's what looks like happens. So you've got Felix over there trying to get Bond back in, and then you've got Nomi over there. Why would she be there? So it looks like both lots are trying to get Bond back in and uses her to do it. Do I believe she's going to be 007? Yeah, I do. Unless they've gone back in and they've changed it, which there has been rumours that they've changed it because of the fan backlash and probably to make people like me look stupid. Hey, I don't need any help looking stupid. I look stupid anyway. But I still believe she's going to be 007. I do. If she's 007, it's going to be interesting in the opening titles. Are they going to have, Daniel Craig as Ian Fleming's James Bond 007, which they pretty much always do. Do I think that Nomi is going to be a double agent? Absolutely not. They're not going to make her a baddie. They're going to make her a goodie, so potentially she can go on and either have her own series or be part of this ongoing series that Daniel Craig's not going to return to. Okay, so that's my prediction there. What else, guys? I think that the Scooby-Doo gang, the Q and Moneypenny and M, I think they're going to be more confined than Inspector. I don't think we're going to see them out as much. We only really see footage of Moneypenny in the office and stuff from memory. Correct me in the comments section if I'm wrong, guys. And we see Q, it looks like, at his home. Also, one thing on Madeline that's just come into my head, we know that she hasn't fully betrayed Bond in materia, etc. as well, because 5 years later, we see Blofeld, and we know it's 5 years later. He's been in retirement for 5 years once he goes to Jamaica. We see that Madeline is at we assume it's MI6 headquarters or at that prison. Now, she's obviously there doing a psychological profile on Blofeld, okay? Because Tanner's with Bond, walking in the hallway, and he's like, will you be able to stay in control? And he's, you won't lose control. And he's like, I won't lose control. And then he sees Madeline, which it looks like is where Blofeld is being kept there. So if she was really, really bad and trying to kill Bond, she wouldn't be in that position. She wouldn't be working for whether it's a British prison system or MI6, etc. My overall prediction with Madeline, this is a really tough one. Now, this is just a guess. I'm about to say something huge here. This is just a guess. And then later I'm going to say what a potential leak is that apparently does happen. So this is just a guess. Lee Seydoux, the actress, said that the film is very, very sad. And the trailers, she said it's very emotional, very sad. So for me, someone has to die. And for all this time, I've been saying James Bond dies. Now, my belief is that he does die. Okay, that's just my belief. That's my prediction that they're going to kill James Bond off. Now, I know that they've come out and said that at the end of the film it says James Bond will return. That doesn't matter. That's null and void, because that's just talking about the continuation of James Bond as a film franchise. So even if they go back and reboot and they start again and say they get Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill's going to be, a totally different Bond from Daniel Craig's Bond, well, James Bond's returned. So that doesn't matter, even if he dies or not. So my prediction is that they will make it look like, maybe again from the You Only Live Twice novel, that Bond dies. Whether he does 100% die, I'm not 100% sure. My belief is he will, and I've said that pretty much for 2 years, that I believe they're going to kill him off and give the franchise to Lashana Lynch. But again, in this 2-year wait, and during this pandemic when the film's been put off, have they changed their mind? Have they gone back and rethought this? So yeah, that's interesting. So what my other guess was, is possibly Madeline gonna be killed? Is she gonna die? And does Bond kill her? Does he kill her? Now, a potential spoiler is coming up, guys, but this spoiler made it out there into the media. So if you don't want to hear any potential spoiler, block your ears now and I'll do the thumbs up again. Okay, so block your ears now. So apparently James Bond and Madeline have a daughter called Matilda. Now, this is really interesting. It's really interesting that they've got a daughter. If they've got a daughter, now, also this is, if you haven't blocked your ears, I'm about to tell you a massive spoiler. So if you don't want to hear a massive spoiler, definitely block your ears. The word that came off the film set was, in the final scene of the film, Bond is dead and Matilda is with Madeline in the DB5. That's what I've heard, in the DB5. Now, whether it's going to be the actual Vantage or something, or the DB5, and they drive off in a tunnel into blackness. And then we assume that Lashana Lynch's character is going to overlook that little girl and train her up. But that is one potential spoiler that I've heard. Do I think that's going to happen? I actually do. I think that's kind of how the film's going to end. Hey, you guys are going to know in 2-3 days. Are my predictions totally wrong? Were those leaks off the film set, were they totally wrong? Who knows? But that's just my guess, and that's all we can do here and part of the fun of being a Bond fan. Unblock your ears, guys, so you can unblock your ears. So that's just what I think is going to happen. Other than that, this film is just shrouded in so much mystery, but I hope questions that were put in Spectre are finally answered. Other than that, Safin, what do I think about Safin? I think he looks great. I think Rami Malek is going to be brilliant. Again, it's a lot of guesswork, but I love the look of him. I think he looks really cool. I think he's going to be an evil badass. I hope they really don't hold back with him. I hope they show him being a real evil son of a bitch. Like, I hope they show him torturing people or killing people or being nasty. Just, let loose. Hopefully they've let Rami Malek just let loose and be a real psychopath, because I think that's what we need, especially Blofeld was a bit weak. Now my prediction with Blofeld. What do I think is going to happen with Blofeld? I think Blofeld is going to escape. I think he escapes in the film. Now, they've only ever shown us footage of him, which I think is smart of them to do if he does escape. They've only shown us footage of him in that Hannibal Lecter-style prison cell thing. But I think he's going to escape, and we see people going down this building and breaking in, and it looks like that is this high-tech prison system that they're breaking into. Who would break him out? Well, I guess it would be Spectre. Spectre operatives that, want to get their boss out. So does Safin try and thwart that? Is there some fight between Spectre and Safin's people over that? Who knows? But I think Blofeld's going to escape. Do I think Blofeld's going to die? I think Safin will die, but I think Blofeld will survive. That's my prediction. I think Safin will die. I think Bond's actually going to kill Safin with him. I think they're going to die together probably, and Bond will be the sacrificial lamb. But I do think Blofeld's going to live, or that we're going to see that he's alive. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. That's my predictions. Overall, here's my prediction overall for No Time to Die. Do I think it's going to be a good film? I actually think it's going to be awesome. I really do. I think there's too much up on screen. They've thrown the money at it. I think it's going to be visually stunning. I think it's going to be filled with intrigue. Production design's great. I think the score's good, and the track material is basically a reworking of John Barry and Louis Armstrong, or the instrumental of "We Have All the Time in the World," and I think that track is stunning. And I love having that little ode from On Her Majesty's Secret Service into this film. Yeah. I'm going to do a soundtrack review in another video because I want to listen to it more and more. But what I've heard, I think it's really cool, especially a bit of Johnny Marr's twang on the Bond theme is not bad at all. But overall, I think it's going to be a great film. I think it's going to be a spectacular film, but they better get the loose ends tied up. If they don't get the loose ends tied up, and my two fears with this is it's going to shit on Bond. And I don't want to see Lashana Lynch talking about a tampon being thrown in a bin. I want to see as least as possible about that actor. I don't want Bond to be put down. I don't want it to be implied that he's a rapist. And I will promise you guys tomorrow is a video coming where I'm going to be speaking about what Kerry Fukunaga said about Sean Connery's James Bond, particularly from Thunderball, which I think is absolutely unforgivable and disgusting what he said, calling him a rapist. But that video will be coming tomorrow. And I think at a time when this film has got 168 or 163 minute runtime, has lost $1 million a month, and is almost 2 years delayed, and apparently it needs 800, 900 million to break even, which I don't quite believe, but again, that's got to come in another video. I believe it is so ridiculous for Lashana Lynch to be opening her mouth about Bond could be a girl, and then to have Kerry Fukunaga coming out and accusing Sean Connery's Bond of being a rapist, which I'm going to do an entire video on, because I'm going to take you through the Thunderball scene with Patricia Fearing and Bond, and how their characters interact, to prove that Kerry Fukunaga is completely full of shit. Now, the guy's a talented director, there's no doubt about that. But he really needs to shut his cake hole and help this film, promote the character, and not put the character down. So my biggest fears of this film is there's going to be a lot of woke crap. And will it be a case of, Bond fans eventually do an edit like fans did of The Last Jedi, where you go in and you edit parts of the film you hate because they got this great, incredible, big action film with a great story and everything's great, and then they shit on it with stupid moments that could easily be edited out. So that is one of my big fears of that. Other than that, I think it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be a really, really awesome film. I hope you all enjoy it. And that's pretty much all I've got for now. Let me know what you think about my thoughts and my predictions and my wants, etc. In the comment section below. This has been a rather large video, but I just wanted to get it all out in one video. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. And till next time, keep on bonding. Say hi to your mum for me and enjoy No Time to Die. See you guys.